You were sludging along for almost over a decade. How did you not quit and go, what am I doing with my life? What kept you in it?
Well, here's the thing. It was a steady build.
There he is. How are you, Joe?
Doing great, man. How you doing?
Fantastic. Where are we playing tonight?
Charleston, South Carolina.
How's sound check? Everything good over there?
Everything's going great. Just as planned. We're literally almost at the halfway point. And, at this point, we all got our gig chops. So sound check is, to just make sure everything works and, save it for 8 o'clock.
Unbelievable. Well, Joe, I appreciate you taking the time to do this.
Not a problem, man. Not a problem.
So I wanted to ask you, Joe, because I remember watching the original Albert Hall performance when I was a kid, probably 10, 11 years old. And it was crazy because...
Shows you how old I am now.
No, Joe, you still got it. But it was crazy because I was on my friend's couch watching it. And not only did it turn me on to you, but it also turned me on to Eric Clapton because it made me go, yes, because it made me go, this guy is so important to this guy who seems to be at the top of his game that I need to go and look at Eric Clapton. So it was hugely influential.
It was, I can never repay him the debt of gratitude that I have because it was really, he gave me his stamp of approval. And, I always say that's always going to be my best DVD. That it doesn't matter how many piece orchestra we put at the Hollywood Bowl. It's literally, you could not, it was like a fairy tale moment that wasn't scripted. It just, you literally just saw the look on my face going, I cannot believe I pulled this off. And it was legit,
The thing to me that blows my mind, though, about that is how relatively long it took for your career to really take off. Because you were 32 in that when you were shooting that. And I think you were sludging along for almost over a decade. How did you not quit and go, what am I doing with my life? What kept you in it?
Well, here's the thing. It was a steady build. It was never an explosion. And you have to remember that the Albert Hall DVD was done for our purposes just to document the moment. And it was already released when PBS picked it up. So when PBS picked it up and started doing those hour pledge drives, that's when it went boom. And that's when the work really began. And I always tell people, it's like when you can never put a sell-by date on your career, because if I said to myself, I'm going to do this until I'm 30 and then reevaluate things, well, I was 4 days shy of my 32nd birthday at the Albert Hall. It's 31 going, and it was May 4th, 2009. I was born on May 8th. If I had just put a shelf life on it and say, well, I'm going to go play for somebody else or go to DeVry, it never would have happened. And, my records got better. So you're seeing the apparatus of touring behind me. And there's 4 of these damn buses. It's a horribly expensive hobby. But I was making better records because in 2005 I met a guy named Kevin Scherz, and he started producing my records, and he still produces my records to this day, on every single one of them in the last 20 years. And it's been really instrumental in the quality of the records went up. I became a better singer. I became more of an artist, and it was the right thing at the right time. And it was a little bit of luck, a lot of perseverance, and the world was ready for the guy in the suit. And I transitioned between like this long-haired kind of pudgy kid into the guy in the suit. And it was all done because you have to put an image with a sound. And I kind of stole the whole image from, looking at Muddy Waters and B.B. King and, Seymour Walker in the 50s and 60s, and they were all in suits. And then Eric Clapton was wearing suits in the 80s and 90s. And I was like, well, maybe I can do that too. And I at least owe my audience the respect enough to dress better than they are at my shows. And I've always looked at it like that. And I lost a bunch of weight, and I lost 60 pounds and became that character. And it is a character. I play that character on stage. I'm not like that off stage. I say things on stage I would never say to anyone in a conversation, because it's the character. It's what people expect from that. And but then I put him away at 10:10, and I put this hat and this Red Rock sweatshirt that I got 30% off last week, and that's it.
But when you met Kevin Shirley, he basically said to you, okay, you're a great player, but the songs suck and the band's got to go. That didn't piss you off, or did you agree with him, or did you think he was right and you knew he was right?
Kevin's big league. And sometimes you have to accept things that you don't want to hear. And he was right. And I was doing pretty good. I had a tour bus, and I thought it was, doing better than, some of my peers in the genre, and we were building. But he goes, this isn't going to scale unless it becomes bigger, wider, with better songs and a better band, And he was right. Nothing in this business pisses me off except ignorance and people assuming things that don't happen because of what they read online. But you have to be able to accept criticism. You can't just accept praise. And you got to be able to accept that and learn from that and grow. If you don't, then you're going to stagnate, and there's your career. You've just framed your career.
Now you look at it and you've built such an incredible company that you run and control. But early on, when you were signed to label deals and you got out label deals and promoters wouldn't take you on to book shows, you had to book your own shows.
Mm-hmm.
Did you feel frustrated that you felt like, I'm trying to do this blues rock thing and maybe there isn't a place for it? Or maybe I don't fit in the music business? And in hindsight, I guess
Probably.
It worked to your advantage, but that wasn't super frustrating.
Well, for every locked door, there's an opportunity to walk around and enter in through the side. And if all I need is your work ethic and some ingenuity. Now, people look at our company now like it was some sort of evil genius. No, it was my manager, Roy, and I going that nobody's going to book us in the kind of rooms we want to play. Nobody's going to pay us the kind of money we need to make in order to build the show. And nobody's going to put the marketing dollars into this because it's not the new, fresh, hip thing. But then I would open up for B.B. King, and I would look and see a packed theater like we're about to play to now. And I go, well, there's 2,000 people in Charleston, South Carolina that like the blues. Where are they? Because at the time, they were not at my show. And then you would see Clapton come through town. He played the arena, and he's playing Hoochie Coochie Man and Layla. And you're like, okay, well, there's 10,000 people like this kind of stuff. Where are they? They're not at my show. Let's go find them. And that was the beginning of a marketing campaign. And my manager, Roy Wiseman, doesn't get enough credit because he, I'm the traveling salesman. He's the brains behind the scenes in the marketing department, the merchandise, the marketing shows, buying ads, targeted ads. So you're not just throwing your money away. All of that we have pretty much perfected through 20 years of Four Walls. And so now the thought of doing shows that are not our own, it's almost like a foreign concept. What do you mean we're not promoting? But this year we've gotten into doing more festivals, which for the first time in 35 years, now they're calling us. And, and I always say we're always grateful for the gig and the phone call, but there's no first time discounts. You could have got the discount 20 years ago, but now you got to pay us because we've earned that right. And I don't, I got 33 people out here. 3 trucks, 4 buses, and a lot of moving parts, and all of them get paid to support what I'm doing.
Isn't it such a gift to have someone like Roy, who's been by your back for 30 plus years, that knows the in and outs of your business, has built your business? Like, no management relationships last that long with artists.
Well, Roy started when it was nothing and believed in it. It only takes one guy to believe in it. And the most important person to believe in it, it's got to be yourself. If you don't believe in yourself, then how you expect a guy like Roy Wiseman to believe in you? So it was a united front. And Roy and I joke all the time. We're crazy, but we're the same kind of crazy. And we go out and we do these things, and we do, how many people do you know promote their own shows at Red Rocks? This guy.